and we're doing part 6, like, immediately. Yay! So I'm still going, and we get to the actual gay part. Like, I swear to God that it actually gets gay. I promise. Okay, I promise. You all get to meet my lesbian girlfriend.
It will be good to have some rest without devils breathing down our necks.
I'm just tired. Can I hit the hay early?
I think some sleep would be good for all of us.
I looked to Damien, knowing he could read my mind, and frowned. I didn't want him to know about my thoughts on the situation. Yeah, bed sounds good. How about you and me go to bed together? I wanted to just end tonight. Too much has happened, and I felt dizzy from trying to figure it out. Because, for the love of God, nothing can be normal. Anyway. However, Damien spoke up, stopping all of us from moving.
Should we be gone in the morning?
The air became still with tension. The realization of the situation hit the boys like a wave, forcing them to turn to me in curiosity. They had remembered their deal, were now awaiting me to decide their fate. I gulped, face to face with the reality of the situation. The boys were leaving it up to me. They looked like they were willing to accept whatever I had demanded. It was only fair, though, after all that had happened. I looked at James, feeling my heart flutter in my chest. I didn't want him to leave, but would he ask to stay? I hoped that he would say no and ask me to stay longer. As if he knew what I wanted, James moved and smiled at me, taking my hand and bringing it to his lips for a kiss. He moved it away, smiled to me, and spoke.
Miss, if I may be so forward. Despite the short time we've stayed here, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here. That being said, would you allow us to stay here?
My heart skipped while a large blush ran across my cheeks. The boys stared at James wide-eyed, but didn't dare to speak out. James stepped back to give me space, returning to where he was. I moved my gaze across each boy, trying to make a decision. Yes, you can totally stay. Yeah, it's like, you're my fave, second fave, third fave, fourth fave, last. Get out. So you're good. You're totally good. You can have sex with me. Get out. If they left in the morning, I would never see them again, and my life could return to normal. If I did decide to let them go, that would have been for the best. No goodbyes. No delays. But did I want to? They had done so much for me in a small amount of time. If you love me, let me go. If you love something, then you should let it go. And if it doesn't return, then it probably died of sadness because it thought you loved it. You guys can stay. I wanted them to stay. I wanted him to stay. I merely smiled, staring at the man I had come to have feelings for, before speaking at last. I would love it if you all could stay. The boys cheered tiredly. You all didn't even fucking do anything. It was all me and James that did shit today. Oh my god. But nonetheless enthusiastically, I giggled at the sight. It was cute to see everyone so excited, despite the tiredness that ran equally through our bodies. Literally, James and I did all the work. I beat up a bitch today. He, killed Malix today. Come on now. Today was a rough day. My home is your home, as long as you can still help with chores. The boys nodded in unison, agreeing to the terms I had set for them. Despite the good situation, I felt myself slowly slipping into unconsciousness. I'm tired. However, James quickly clapped his hands together, getting everyone's attention, and waking me up, making sure I didn't pass out on the floor.
All right, everyone. We're all very tired, so let's head to bed, shall we?
Go to bed with me.
Oh! Yeah, sleep is actually a thing. Right.
Yes, sleep is actually a thing.
We've had a very long day.
You didn't do anything.
But it will be good to just relax tonight and tomorrow.
Sleep sounds really good right now.
Yeah, man.
Sleep. I watched a very happy smile grow onto James's lips. He shared my excitement, knowing that we could fuck. We would be together longer. Who knew how long we would stay together? All I cared about was that I would be with him. The others quickly left to finally rest, leaving me and James alone at last. My heart fluttered a bit as James walked closer to me, gently wrapping his arms around my form. I placed my hands on his shoulders, leaning close.
You are an absolutely wonderful woman.
I'm not a woman, though.
I'm so happy that you let us stay here.
You'll stay in my heart forever. You give me a boner in my heart. I'm happy too, James. I stared up into his eyes, getting lost in them. I didn't know if it was the tiredness or my growing attachment to him, but I felt myself lean into James's hot, sexy-ass body. It invited me to stay a while, making me forget that my bed was also calling for me. Ring, ring, B, it's your bed, go to bed.
Listen, about what happened at the warehouse.
Babe, it's fine. You did what you had to. It was fucking sweet. I understand. I'd accepted everything while in James's arms. He was real, and he was someone I didn't want to be without, even if that meant nodding against my curiosity. Besides, I was too tired to explain that memory further. And also, that was boss ass, alright? You didn't go about it the way the rest of them go about it. Listen, James's is literally, the least violent one. The other ones are really bad. James nodded before kissing my forehead sweetly.
Come, let's get you to bed.
Go to bed with me. I nodded before James gently lifted me up into his arms like a bride. Oh, sweet, we're getting married, and carried me to my room. I didn't want to leave his arms, leaning my head against James's chest. But eventually I was slowly lowered to my bed and covered with my bed covers, and apparently not changing out of my clothing, and my bra's gonna be nasty the next morning because I'm sleeping in my bra. I was still in my school clothes, but I was too tired to strip or care. Strip. You know, I only wear, one outfit ever, so... James, no, I gotta change my clothes. I gotta change into pajamas because I only have one pair of clothing despite being a rich person that was like, oh man, I own a bunch of clothes. I'm like an anime character. I never change clothes. I looked to James, fighting a yawn from escaping me as he gently ran a hand over my hair.
Have sweet dreams. I'll prepare breakfast again for you in the morning.
Oh, really? You want to have dessert right now? Damn it. I nodded with a tired smile before watching him slowly stand and leave my room, closing the door. No, don't leave me alone! The shady-ass lamp's in here! A wave of happiness washed over me as I laid in bed. I made a good choice. Sure, it would be hard, but I could tell that I would be able to manage it. Help around the house and being with a man whom I was slowly starting to fall for would be worth it. Servants! I slowly felt my exhaustion take over. I let sleep consume me as I drifted into the darkness in my mind. Everything was peaceful. I was happy. And then I found my lesbian girlfriend. Oh, there's an opening song thing that I always forget about. And it exists. And we're gonna watch it because why not? I've never actually watched this though. I want all of you to know. I always watch the one for Hustle Cat. This one takes forever too. Dude. Okay, is that it? Oh my god.
You are an interesting creature.
She's flirting with me. I opened my eyes to see a woman staring down at me with a very sly smirk on her face. I opened my mouth to scream in fright, but a hand quickly covered my mouth.
No screaming now. Too early, silly girl.
If it's too early, then you shouldn't be. Let's have lesbian sex. I could only stare up at the woman above me. I still felt weak, not having the strength to move and fight her off. What's going on? Why was she here?
Why do the boys like you? You're unique, yes, but that can't be all that you have going for you.
This is my lesbian girlfriend. I want all of you to know this. Rage began to consume my core again. This woman, whoever she was, my lesbian princess, was making me mad. She must have known as she let another smirk grow on her face.
Ooh, you're feisty. That could be why.
Marry me. Before I could bite her hand in anger, she removed her hand from my lips, standing up and staring down at me from her place next to my bed. This is my girlfriend. Say hello to my girlfriend, everyone. Hi, Bee's girlfriend. I quickly sat up and glared daggers at the intruder. She was very beautiful, but I felt more anger than amazement. Who the hell are you? And why are you in my room? The woman began to laugh, making the rage inside me increase. I wanted to punch her, but I waited for an answer. Also, I feel so bad for Diana.
How silly of me. I forgot that we demons are not well known of in your world. You can call me Diana, little human.
Well, you can call me your lover. Marry me. Diana? Demon? You're a demon?
I am. But I'm much more than just an average demon.
Yeah, you're my girlfriend. I mean, what? What do you mean?
Silly girl. I'm a succubus.
Number one, I'm not a girl. Number two, no shit, didn't see that one coming at all. I stared at Diana in shock. A succubus? First incubi, now a succubus? Great. I now have met two genders of sex demons. A gender sex demon. What are you? Are you a succubus and an incubus? No. Diana crossed her arms under her bosom and looked at my body.
Well, you are pretty.
I'm not as pretty as you, babe. I'll bang you.
But you seem very reckless. Too reckless.
That's fair. I moved out and stood from the bed, still glaring at Diana. Why are you here?
Oh, I just wanted to see who my competition was.
We don't have to compete, babe. We could just make out. Competition?
For the boys, of course.
The boys.
They don't belong here, and yet here they remain. I want to know why, and remedy this little issue.
My little issue? This girl was seriously pissing me off. We should just make out. Issue? What issue? They want to stay here, so they can.
Silly, uneducated human.
Yeah, I am.
You don't understand the important roles these boys play in the abyssal planes. You keeping them here is practically imprisonment.
You have about 10 seconds to leave.
Is that a threat? How cute. What are you going to do? Kill me?
No, I'll just make out with you. I mean, and if I do?
You barely have the strength to stand, little human. I can rip the rest of your energy out and knock you into a coma. You'll never be able to wake up again.
Look, she's in love with me. Touch me and I'll...
Enjoy every minute of it.
That's fair. I felt my body freeze and heat up to almost a painful haze. My mind began to feel fuzzy as Diana stepped to me and caressed my cheek.
Now, you're going to listen to everything I say without any questions. Got it?
Kiss me. Bésame. Bésame, chica mala. The princess is not a bad girl. I nodded.
Good. I plan to bring the boys back to the abyssal planes. Why? So that I can take my place as queen of their realm. They have no
Bitch,
reason
me
to
too.
be here in this silly little world, so I'm going to make sure they return home. Okay, Pumpkin?
Aw, she called me Pumpkin. I nodded, but growled because she was damn hot. My rage couldn't be concealed despite the hold I was under. You, beautiful, beautiful woman.
Call me evil all you want, dearie. I'm not evil. You're just in my way.
That's a fair point. I felt Diana lean into my ear and whisper, making me unconsciously shiver in both pleasure and annoyance.
Now, be a good little human and go to bed. I'll make sure they're gone before you get home tomorrow from school, so make sure to say goodbye in the morning.
Alright, babe. I felt my body move on its own to lay in bed and cover itself with my bed sheets. I glared at Diana the entire way down. I wanted to make out with her face. Diana laughed at my futility. I'll get you and have sex with you.
Oh, please do.
Oh, holy fuck. All of a sudden, her voice deepened and became cold and demonic, sending a violent, scared shiver down my spine. Her red eyes practically illuminated in the darkness of my room as she glared at me.
Give me a reason to make your life a living hell.
Marry me. I gritted my teeth, trying to fight back against the hold on me. She couldn't have been that tough. She needed energy to survive, right? I was sure she couldn't have had enough to hold me down forever. Diana then laughed and returned to normal.
Oh, and make sure you don't tell the boys I was here. I want my visit to be a surprise.
Babe, make out my face. I felt the hold on me disappear, allowing me to sit up and practically growl at Diana in rage. What's stopping me?
Then you must not care about your friends and family as much as you care for the boys.
This is true. I stopped and stared. What did she mean by that? Is that a threat to my family? Well, fuck it. Kill my dad. I don't care. Dana smirked at me, knowing the confusion behind my eyes.
Let's just say that if you tell the boys about me, I'll make sure that no one will care for you, and you'll be all alone in this little house until the day you die.
That's a cool threat. I could feel fear creeping into me. Alone? How could she do that? The word demon reverberated in my head, reminding me that I was facing off against something supernatural. A human with a shield versus a devil was one thing. A human on her own versus a demon was another.
Have a good night.
Bang me! Oh, there she goes. And with that, Diana sank into the floor through a magic purple pentagram, which disappeared as her head vanished into the floor. I couldn't believe it. I had one problem, and now I had another. Instead of a crazy psycho devil who wanted to kill me and the boys, I had a succubus wanting to ruin my life and take the boys away. But I wanted to ruin her life by being super hot. Could my life get any worse? Yeah, I could die. There's at least 2 ways to die. I say at least 2, but there's like one where you're not human anymore and one where it's debatable death. So, no, I wasn't going to let her win. She's not as powerful as she looks. I know it. I had to mentally confirm it. She wasn't going to win. The boys wanted to stay with me. I let out a sigh before closing my eyes, affirming my plan of action. No matter what she was going to do, I was going to beat her. Eventually, the morning arrived and the sun screamed at me to get up. Surprisingly, I woke up before my alarm clock once again, which is nice. I stretched out and quickly got dressed, getting ready for school. She expects me to say goodbye to the boys. I will say good morning, and we'll see them when I come back. No way am I going to say goodbye. Mildly spoilerific, but, as much as I kept flirting with Diana, yes, she is a romance route. You're all probably like, wow, B, look at that hot succubus. Yes, she is a romance route. And guess what? She is the first romance route I took on accident. This is how you become a lesbian on accident. Because you don't make out with your boyfriend. you don't push an issue with your boyfriend in the library, and then you don't make out with him, and if you don't make out with your boyfriend, you then become a lesbian. Don't become a lesbian. Push the issue. I scooped up my bag and headed downstairs to the dining room, seeing the boys already eating a delicious selection of food. The smell made my stomach growl wildly, as the sight of food drew me to walk further into the room.
Good morning, miss. Did you sleep well?
Food! Before I could lie, hiding the incident in the back of my mind, Damien furrowed his eyebrows and stopped eating.
She's here.
The boys looked at Damien in confusion while I cursed his ability silently in my mouth.
Damien, what's up with you? Of course she's here. She kinda owns the house.
Thanks, Matthew. Damien looked to me, wanting me to explain for him. However, the threats that Diana gave me last night warned me to keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna avoid the issue. I shake my head at Damien, not wanting to talk about it. Damien's like, oh, for the love of fuck. Damien sighed and looked at James. James tilted his head and furrowed his brows at Damien before looking to me.
Does anyone else live in this house?
No. Just us. And my plants. I have 3 cacti and a succulent. Not a succubus. I have a succulent, and her name is Veronica, and my cacti are named Antonio Fernandez Carriendo, Big Tony, and Reginald, and I love them.
Then who is Diana?
Well, fuck. My heart stopped. Damien was still able to read my mind. I couldn't help but glare at him, but he continued to press a hard, tell the truth gaze at me. I sighed. Damien was going to press the issue, so I had no choice but to speak. A girl named Diana came by last night.
Diana? Is she important?
Did she try to hurt you?
She's a succubus. That single word made the boys stop and stare at me. I looked to each boy, unsure of what was going through their minds. Should I have avoided it?
So, she's come to try and bring us back.
She must really be desperate.
I'm desperate too. Bitch,
Well,
me too.
what should we do now?
Me and Diana should be BFFs. Like, if not lesbians, we should totally still be friends.
Nothing. She'll give up eventually.
Will she?
Like, honest to God, me and Diana could totally be friends. The voice continued to look at me as if I knew the answer to that question. Damn it, Damien! She said that if I told you, she'd make my life a living hell. She can't possibly do that, right? She's not a devil.
No, she isn't. However, she is a very powerful demon.
Fuck.
She's a master of mind manipulation and has been trained in illusion. Unlike other demons who use strength to get power, she uses her charisma.
Oh, so she has like a really high charisma stat. Makes sense considering she's fucking hot as shit. So what, is she like a bard? Like, bards use charisma. Actually, you know what? Undeads use charisma. I don't know why. I know this because I'm a necromancer. I'm not entirely a necromancer. But bards can use charisma for things too. But, like, undeads, like zombies and skeletons and stuff, because I'm a necromancer, use charisma because they don't have a constitution. I don't think demons really count as, like, undead, but, yeah. That also qualifies for vampires, even though vampires are intelligent undead. But that just means they have an intelligence score. Instead I was just having an intelligence score of 0. My hedgehog is higher intelligence than my zombie. Because he's a hedgehog. He has 2 intelligence. I play a rogue in one campaign and a necromancer in the other campaign. I'm Jim the necromancer in the other campaign. So, yeah.
She has the power to make armies bow to her and obey her every whim. That's why she's so obsessed with us.
I think we should be friends. What do you mean?
Well, she sort of has family ties to us. She was promised to marry one of us in exchange for more power.
She's just some whacked up hussy who doesn't know how to close her legs.
Hey.
She's not a real threat.
Oh, really? I feel insulted.
The boys and I looked around the room, wondering where the voice came from. I felt a cold sweat run down the back of my neck in fear, remembering what kind of power she had. At last, we saw Diana by the entrance of the kitchen, juggling a single red apple in her hand as she leaned against the archway. The voice quickly surrounded me, glaring at the intruder.
So, you took up a human name as well.
Beautiful name, isn't it? Well, for a human name, anyway.
I got distracted thinking about things, but Diana is the goddess of the moon, which is another name for Artemis, and also Delia is another name for that. And if you read from The Stranger from Another World AU, which is my Julie fic with the Ludger's babysitter, I haven't updated like the actual chapter 1, it's just the prologue right now. The character's name is Delia, but that's because yeah. So anyway, it's yeah. Whatever.
What the hell do you want?
Mostly because I named another character Artemis. Anyway, oh my god. There's Diana in this one. There's Artemis is the main character of the Lesbians, New Monk, Space Pirates, Otome that Amy and I were working on, which is called Moonflower. And Artemis is the main character because it's a general neutral name. And then Delia is the name of the character from Stranger from Another World. Haha.
To bring you back, of course. However, you weren't supposed to know that I was coming. I completely forgot about that little mind-reading ability. My mistake.
Diana pushed off from the archway and walked towards us, making the voice step closer to me in a protective circle. Dinah laughed.
My. What has the world come to? A group of demons protecting a human girl? I'll tell you right now, she's not that pretty. And from what I can tell, she's still a virgin.
Shrug emoji. Like, I don't care. My face grew red in complete anger and embarrassment. How dare she? Okay, it's one thing to insult my looks, but okay, y'all, being a virgin is not a bad thing. Not being a virgin is not a bad thing. Whether you've had sex or not does not have any effect on your worth, okay? This is your dad talking. This is Dad B talking, okay? Someone who's never had sex with another person is not different than someone who's had sex with 1,000,000 people. Alright? It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Shh. It's okay. Also, this character is 18 years old. She's a senior in high school. please don't have sex until you're 18. And when you do, practice safe sex. Listen, I'd just rather you not have sex until you're, like, an adult, okay? This is your father talking. If you have sex before that, I'm not gonna, like, shame you or anything. I'm just... This game frustrates me. Oh, hell no. How dare you insult my looks like that? I stepped up, gently pushing the boys away to be face to face with Diana. I wanted to kiss her. I was furious and she was about to feel my wrath. You are in my house. You are an intruder. You have no power here.
Oh, really? Do I have to remind you of the power I have, dear?
Ooh, she called me dear. Oh. With a snap of her fingers, my mind suddenly locked up and I felt blank. I could see the world around me, but I lost control of my body. The voice quickly reformed around me with James gripping onto Diana's wrist in anger. It's like disassociating.
You will leave this instant.
Ooh.
Or what? You'll kill me? I completely dare you to.
Let me do it. I could use the workout.
No, leave my girlfriend alone.
Don't.
The boys looked at Damien while Diana smirked in my blank state. I wanted to fight this hold, but her power held me down. I wanted to kiss her, but I couldn't.
And why not?
She wants us to kill her. If she dies, then civil war starts in the demon world.
Very good, sweetie.
No, you're only supposed to call me sweetie.
What happens in the demon world doesn't concern us anymore. We live here now.
The demons will come to the human world and hunt us down before attacking each other.
The demons will come to the human world? All because of her?
You sneaky bitch.
With another snap of Diana's fingers, I was released from her hold, almost buckling to my knees.
Well, will you all change your minds? I assure you, it's for the greater good.
Please don't say the greater good. I expected the boys to say no, but I heard it was complete silence. None of the boys replied to Diana, which made me both nervous and fearful as to why. Diana leaned her head back a bit, surprised for a different reason.
No. Well, I see.
Was silence truly them saying no to her? I looked around at the boys and saw the disobedience in their eyes, giving me my answer. I felt my heart flutter, especially when my eyes landed on James. He kept close to me, glaring daggers into Diana. I could feel that he was completely adamant in his choice to stay. Oh, babe. I don't know what, but I was incredibly happy to know he wanted to stay. What? Whatever. Diana sighed and pressed a finger to her temple, rubbing it gently.
Either all of you are playing a very convincing hard-to-get game, or you all must be out of your minds.
I think Diana and I should be friends. Diana then looked to me, locking her gaze with mine as if to read me. I could tell she wanted to do something, but the boys would stop her, so the stare was her only available action. After a small moment of silence, Diana licked her lips, kiss me, before breaking the gaze battle and smiling to the boys around me.
Very well. I guess I'll take my leave now.
What? Her leave? Was she serious? The boys around me straightened up and grew confused looks on their faces as Diana stepped back and away from all of us with a small bow, flaunting her cleavage. Boobs! Oh, there she goes. Without another word, a deep purple pentagram appeared under her feet and Diana's body slowly sank into the floor. As her head vanished into the floor, the pentagram vanished as well, apparently. At once, the boys relaxed and slowly began to return to their spots at the table, each in deep thought.
She'll be back, but she won't kill us. She needs us alive.
Honest to God, me and Diana could literally be friends. Like, she doesn't care about them. Like, it's not that she likes them, it's that she needs them to protect her kingdom and to get more power. But me and Diana could totally be friends. Like, I'm like, hey, I'll just marry this dude. You can, like, or we... Listen, me and Diana could totally be friends. She was forced into being the villain here. It's not fair.
Whatever. We'll just keep saying no. She can't force us to come back.
She can't do anything but annoy us. Eventually, she'll give up.
That's the hope, anyway.
Hopefully. I want her to make out with me. James walked over to me and gently caressed my cheek, looking at me with a comforting smile.
There's no need to worry. I promise she won't hurt you.
I nodded, feeling that he was telling the truth, or at least a hopeful and comforting thought. James kissed my forehead. Oh, babe. However, making me blush and forget what I was thinking about. The sound of collective chuckles and playful snickers whispered through the air, making me blush even more. But the sudden growl that erupted from the man above me made the laughter stop. I didn't see James's face, but I could tell that he was glaring at his brothers with his lips on my head. He and I pulled away from each other just as the sound of Naomi's car appeared. I quickly ate my food, waved to the boys, and left, confident that nothing was going to happen. Never, ever say that nothing will happen before the day is over. I started talking about the ride back home yesterday, saying that the ride was a one-time thing. I'll be riding with you guys from now on to and from school. The lesbians seemed very happy. We entered the school, quickly gathered our things from our lockers, and headed to class. Oh, you know what? I think there are male students in my class. Never mind what I said about this being an all-girls school. There are no events, to our surprise. History wasn't exactly fun, but our teacher was great. At least, he would have been great if he was in class that day. Naomi and Susie took their seats around me, Suzu in front of me, Naomi beside me, for the class bell rang and the class was greeted by the dean.
Students, you'll be having a substitute for class today. Everyone meet
Miss Diana.
My girlfriend! My heart stopped. At the door with the dean was Diana, looking over the students and smirking as her eyes landed on me. She strutted to the teacher's desk, ignoring, or welcoming, the whispers from the other students, before sitting on the wood and crossing her legs. Sitting on the wood.
Thank you, Dean. You can go now.
With a wave of Diana's hand, the dean left the classroom, closed the door, and left the area. Diana smiled at us, making my stomach turn. What was she going to do? Make out with me, hopefully.
So, history. History. Such a silly thing, isn't it? I mean, what do we care about the past? We're in the present.
I have to argue with you in that history can repeat itself. Those who forget the past are doomed to repeat it, or something like that. The rest of the class, including the lesbians, hesitantly nodded in agreement. Unsure about this new teacher, but willing to listen to more of what she had to say.
The present is so full of wonderful things. While the labors of the past are the reason we have many things, it is our chance and privilege to utilize what has been given to us.
Okay. Her charm was almost infectious. The class was practically starting to eat out of her hand. I looked around to see classmates grinning and agreeing with Diana. I pressed my lips together as I listened further. I had no choice.
What's even funnier about human beings is that some of the bits of history we hear as either made up or completely biased to one side. It's like a story you read as a child.
History is written by the victors, Diana, yes.
You hear of the princess and the prince, and they live happily ever after. But what about the family she left behind? What of her friends?
By the way, speaking of history and being written by victors and, like, biased and stuff, if you ever read one of Shakespeare's, like, historical plays, like, any of the ones named after kings, I think we read Henry V, but I could be wrong. I took Shakespeare, like, junior year of high school, so it was, like, forever ago. Those are really biased, because Shakespeare did not write for accuracy, he wrote for, the queen, so he made the queen and her family look really nice in comparison to, like, anybody else, especially with, like, the War of the Roses and stuff. So, yeah, and, like, the French looks, like, terrible, like, they're, like, absolute monsters. There's, like, one part in one scene in one of the stories that it's like, oh my god, the French killed these, like, prisoners of war, which they weren't supposed to do anyway, and then it was like, oh, and they killed, like, the, like, little, like, page boys, which they're also not supposed to do. But the thing is that the English also did something similar. Like, they killed, like, the prisoners of war that they weren't supposed to, so it's like, you're both in the wrong here. But Shakespeare's like, nope, we totally weren't, so... Yeah, the students listened and agreed intently to her words. I could tell, however, that these words were all targeted at me. She begging me?
The original story of the Little Mermaid, a perfect example of biased opinion. Here we have a girl who thinks she can be with this prince, but this prince has to marry a princess.
She was pretty much a princess anyway.
What would happen if the mermaid had her way? What makes the mermaid so important that the princess has to suffer the consequences?
Ooh, I'm gonna fight her. It doesn't matter what happens to the princess. The rest of the class turned their heads to me. Naomi and Suzu looked at me with equally surprised looks. I kept my eyes to Diana. If I was the mermaid, I wasn't gonna let the princess take my prince away. Diana stared at me before smiling and turning her body to fully face me.
Oh? And why does it not matter?
The story isn't about the princess. The story is about the mermaid and the prince.
Ah, but that is exactly my point. While the story talks about the mermaid and the prince's romance, we don't see the problems of the kingdom the prince rules.
This is like Barbie Princess and the Pauper. Like, this is what you should be talking about.
While we are all fixated with this love story, we ignore the fact the kingdom would fall apart without the marriage between the prince and princess.
Except for, like, okay, first of all, just so all of you know, the original Little Mermaid story was about gay unrequited love. Because Hans Christian Andersen was super fucking gay for a friend of his, but that friend was not, it was like, no. And so Hans Christian Andersen was like the Little Mermaid. It was a gay story, okay? Just listen to me, it was gay. Also, this is more of like Barbie Princess and the Pauper, like, oh, but Annalise, your kingdom will fall if you don't get married to King Dominic. Yes, but that wasn't an issue. The prince was legitimately in love with the princess in Little Mermaid. And I'm talking about the original Hans Christian Andersen story. She kept her eyes to me as she spoke. I knew she wanted to make her words stick in my mind, but I didn't listen. It was one thing to be a fictional story. It was another to try and ruin someone else's life for selfishness. Ooh, but that's what I'm doing, though. Diana chuckled and looked back to the class.
Well, luckily in the real story of the Little Mermaid, the mermaid knows that what she was doing was wrong, and she threw herself into the ocean, turning into sea foam.
Some of the students that surrounded me mumbled in surprise, obviously not knowing the real story. However, Diana was wrong once again. You're kind of skipping over some parts. That's not true. Once again, the class looked to me, and Diana faced me with another smile.
Not true. How so?
The trade-off for becoming human was marrying the prince or turning into sea foam. However, she was also given the choice to kill the prince and turn back into a mermaid. The mermaid didn't because she loved him and sacrificed herself for that love. By the way, okay. Sorry, this entire thing annoys me because I'm like, this is more suited for Barbie Princess and the Pauper, being like, well, Annalise should have married Dominic because she had to save her kingdom instead of letting Erica marry Dominic just because she fell in love with him and letting Annalise marry Jillian, who she actually wanted to marry. But, yeah, the prince legitimately was not interested in the mermaid, like, Ariel, let's call her that, because that's what Disney called her. He treated her like a pet. It was really nasty. Like, she didn't even, like, have an actual room or anything. She, like, slept on the floor next to his, like, outside of his room or something. It was, like, he treated her like shit, okay? Like, she was just, like, this little toy that he was like, oh, how adorable. He wasn't, he felt no emotions towards her, like, romantically. So, yeah, and yes, the Little Mermaid, also, along with that, being human, every step she took felt like stepping on, like, 1,000 nails. So, God, bitch is fucking, fuck yeah. But, yeah, her sisters were like, here, take this dagger and kill the prince so you can turn back into a mermaid. And, because it was, like, after, like, the prince married the princess, and then she was like, oh, no, I won't. So she abandoned it, threw herself back into the ocean, and turned into sea foam. That is a story worth telling. Not some princess getting her way, but a tragedy that had befallen on a girl or a dude who's really gay for his friend and who only wanted love. The class applauded me with Susie giving me her usual punch to my shoulder and Naomi smiling at my logic because they're lesbians and they know about gay love. Diana, however, finally grew an almost angered face at me.
Interesting. So what you are saying is that the princess should be given no mind.
The story is not about the princess. The story is about the mermaid, and the mermaid should have gotten her prince, except for he wasn't even worth it, man. Like, dude.
Even at the risk of a kingdom falling apart?
Even if the entire world fell apart around them, duty does not overrule love, and the princess needs to realize this. I disagree with that, because, you know, I'm so sorry, my darling, but as you know, you must marry King Dominic. It is the only way to take care of our people. I know. It's my duty. Yeah, duty means doing things your heart may well regret. If you gotta marry somebody to keep your kingdom from falling apart, then I have to agree with Diana on this. That you should have to do it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very opinionated on this. The applause that followed that intensified with whoops and hollers. It felt like a wave of confidence I felt the wave of confidence roll through my body. Diana wasn't going to win. I wasn't going to let her win. Let her. Diana then stopped talking and looked at the clock on the wall, reading it quickly. This class had barely begun. Why was she looking at the time? Diana then leaned against the blackboard and smiled to us. I became worried. Also, next time pick Barbie Princess and the Pauper. It's a much better example.
You know what? School isn't important.
Thank fuck.
Everyone, go ahead and head home. Take the week off.
Okay. The students suddenly began to chat happily or in confusion of the situation. Many thought it was a dream come true. Others knew better. Before anyone could protest, however, Diana pressed a finger to her lips and counted with her fingers in the air. 3, 2, 1. The speakers of the classroom gently awoke, giving us an announcement we would never believe.
Attention students. Due to an emergency faculty meeting, we will be closing school for the remainder of the day and this entire week.
Okay.
Please leave the school quickly and quietly and have a good rest of the week.
Fuck yeah! She used her powers on them. Damn it. I felt the need to stop her, but how could I stop a demon in the middle of a public area? I beat the shit out of a bitch yesterday. Diana smiled before gesturing to the door.
Have a nice week off. School will resume next week.
Thank you, Diana! Many of the students filed out, chatting to each other about new impromptu plans. Suzu was beyond happy, but lesbian number 2, was hesitant. Before we could pack up and leave, however, Diana stepped to us.
Excuse me, little miss. I'd like you to stay a little while. There's something we need to discuss.
Are we gonna make out? Oh. As Diana looked to the other lesbians, she snapped her fingers, making my friends tense up.
You two can head home. Don't worry about your friend until next week, okay? If you contact her, she won't reply, so don't bother. If she contacts you, ignore her, because she's just fine.
Well, that's rude. As if on command, the other lesbians left the room. I tried to march after them, but Diana stepped in my path, warning me with her eyes that if I followed, there would be hell to pay. I'll get there. I had lost my 2 friends, at least for the week. Diana and I were alone, just like she wanted, like I wanted. Desk sex. I slammed my hands on the desk in front of me and glared at Diana. What are you doing, and what are you thinking?
What? Do I not make a good teacher? I figured you should have a little lesson, so I took matters into my own hands.
Whatever you're trying to do won't work.
You really think so, dear? And what makes you so sure about that?
What was making me so sure? Why was I so confident? Were the boys worth this? My thoughts began to fill with doubt. All the uncertainties about this whole ordeal began to cloud my mind. Also, I just want to make up Diana's face. If the boys were ever found out, there'd be hell to pay. Was it worth it? What about Diana? Can I bang her? What would she do to me? Would she make my parents forget about me completely? Would she ruin my friends' lives out of spite? Could we just be friends because I know what she wants and I could help her get what she wants? And, like, we literally could have just been friends if she wasn't so, like, insistent on other Diana, I think we should just sit down and talk this out because we could have an agreement. Like, Diana, listen, you want to marry one of them so you can get their power, right? Well, what if we just had, like, a marriage of convenience, you know? Like, you marry one of them, you guys don't actually have to stay together. Whatever, take over, kill their father, become the new demon queen. Move on. Let me have my dude. Besides which, there's 4 other ones that you can, like, bang. You don't need mine. Yes, I understand that James is the one you were originally engaged to marry, because he's the oldest, but listen. Girl, live your dreams. Or hell, marry me. I don't care. In my gut, I felt a stone of confidence try to fight back, but the heaviness of my thoughts began to dissolve that stone little by little. What was going on with me? I looked up to Diana once again to see her gaze boring into my eyes. She was using her powers on me. This time I was away from home, so I couldn't escape. Or could I? Did I want to? The way she stared at me made me feel warm and fuzzy inside my chest. It felt like melting. Desk sex, desk sex, desk sex. Diana lifted a hand under my chin and ran her thumb over my lips, licking her own. Oh, I could feel little shots of energy zipping from under my skin into my chin, where she held me.
Now, let's have a little taste of that sweet, virginal sexual energy.
Bang me! I watched as she leaned in, ready to kiss me and take my energy. Half of my body felt elation at the idea. Fuck yeah, that's my half. The other half completely rejected it and didn't want her to even touch me. That's not me. James. Suddenly, Dana stopped in her tracks.
James, who is...
It then dawned on her.
Ah, one of the boys.
The boys.
Why don't you tell me which boy is James?
Dat boy. Oh shit, what up? I felt myself nod in compliance. The oldest. Dana giggled in reply before letting go of my face and stepping back.
Really? The eldest son with you?
Fuck yeah! I nodded once again, but this time it was partly my own decision to reply. Diana let out a sound that mimicked a cat's purr before stepping away from me.
Alright then. Well, if it's the eldest son you're infatuated with, you should really rethink your romantic options.
Why? Diana chuckled before kissing my nose. Oh, fuck, marry me. Where I felt a shot of energy zap out of my body, almost making me dizzy in recoil. Diana then turned to the desk and sat on the wood. Please stop calling it that. That sounds awkward. She sat on the wood. Wink wonk. Crossing her legs.
You can go now. Remember, no class for the rest of the week.
Let's have desk sex. And how am I supposed to get home? My two friends left me here thanks to you.
Oh, were they your ride? My apologies. Let me help then.
See, she's not bad. She's kind of nice. Whatever. Dana then lifted her hand and snapped her fingers. I suddenly felt the floor sink from underneath me, forcing me to look down. Purple pentagrams surrounded my feet, pulling me into the ground. Whoa! Before I could fight, however, I sank fully into the floor, fading into darkness and shutting my eyes. As I opened them, I felt my silk sheets around me, soothing my anxiety from the darkness that had previously surrounded me. What the... And part 5. If I can find my thing.